Much of apologetics, or as I refer to it, excusegetics, is about rescuing God, our all-powerful, all-knowing damsel in distress. Lately, it seems that excusegetics has become entirely about getting God off the hook for something wicked he's done, as chronicled in God's own holy word. He's not the slightest bit shy when it comes to exposing his dark side and documenting it for all to see. Beautiful, really. Obviously, I'm speaking in particular about the biblical tribal war god of Abraham. In this era of New Atheism and post-New Atheism, God is constantly under attack by folks like, well, me, and Apologia, Alex O'Connor, and atheist and anti-theist here and elsewhere who are horrified by the idea of people worshiping a genocidal, slave-condoning, rape-mandating, LGBTQ plus hating monster. For Christians who've historically spewed their nonsense unchallenged for centuries, this apparently feels like a siege. A moment of unrivaled persecution. Excusegists are today's modern crusaders, putting on the full armor of God and slaying the dragons of doubt and discomfort. Which is how we get folks from Team Genocide defending the annihilation of entire people groups who were unknowingly occupying a plot of land which God secretly owned and had destined for his own chosen people. Don't be troubled. These people were really, really awful, irredeemable, especially those sinister babies. Talk about menacing. Oy vey. This is how you get my old buddy Dennis Prager, the dean of my alma mater, PragerU, go Devils, defending slavery by conflating chattel slavery and debt bondage, or claiming that God couldn't have simply banned slavery because, quote, the Torah took an evolutionary approach to ending slavery, end quote. Which is why it took 3,000 years. Evolution is a very slow and brutal process. Lots of death and suffering along the way. So wise. So loving. Of course, genocide and slavery are child's play when it comes to God's missteps and his need to be rescued. For an all-loving, all-knowing, all-powerful being, the biggest blunder of all is clearly hell. The idea that the vast majority of us will suffer endlessly in the fiery pit. And not for anything we've done, but for simply being born, which none of us chose. And for not believing the right thing, perhaps the exact right thing. Of course, Christian excuses just have an excuse for that, don't they? God doesn't send us to hell, we do. Of course we do. Who wouldn't want to spend an infinite week vacation basking in the warm glow of hell's fiery furnace, complete with an unending pitchfork massage and a bottomless acid-spiked pina colada? Michael Jones will tell you that the doors to hell lock from the inside. Oh, so insightful. Hey, Mike, that's how we keep your vicious God from getting in and ruining our party. But that's not the only solution. More liberal Christians, hoping against hope that their seemingly monstrous God really is all-loving, have another way out. Universalism. The idea that eventually, perhaps after a brief stint in hell, all of humanity will be saved and reconciled to God, whatever your faith and regardless of the actions you've taken while here. Sounds great, right? Not so much. This returns us to a theme I've been harping on for the last nearly 19 years here on YouTube. God is clearly the greatest possible sadist, a being so sadistic that no greater sadism can be conceived or imagined. If we're all ending up in heaven, then what the fugly are we doing here in this awful universe filled with evil and suffering? Why not simply create us already in heaven, especially when God knew exactly what each of us were going to do here the entire time, from all eternity? He's known it all. But bri, we needed this experience to appreciate what we'll have in heaven. Yeah, because that appreciation will last for all eternity, right? Despite the fact that the last time you got sick, you really appreciated your health for about 2 days after you got better. But we learn things here, Bri. God's doing some serious soul building, which Cameron has already told us could happen in heaven, claiming that's exactly what happens with children who die very young.
But now some other questions arise, like what happens to children in childbirth? Right? They don't have the opportunity to build their characters. Well, it's true that children that die young aren't really given the opportunity to build their character on Earth. There's no real good reason to think that character building suddenly stops in heaven.
An all-powerful God can give us whatever knowledge and understanding we need. He can simply download it right into our brains like we're Neo learning Kung Fu on the bridge of the Nebuchadnezzar. No babies needed to die of bone cancer. No woman needed to be raped. No heretic needed to be tortured. None of us needed to suffer the traumas we've suffered at the hands of the people who were supposed to love us. That's especially true for you, God. Once again, I'm me. Thanks for watching. Oh, and I'll see you all in heaven. Of course I will.